YouTube channel near you.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody's doing well. And hello, Chris, and Crafty, and Nilda, and Dow. I certainly hope everybody's doing well. And this past weekend, I was in Weirton, West Virginia, doing readings over there. And it was a very wonderful experience. I met some wonderful vendors. And I also met a little dog named Onyx, who is a little black Pomeranian with a little skunk tail and as cute as can be. And as usual, if you would like to have a reading, you just put a request in the comments. And I'll go ahead and start with the rune readings. And thank you, Nilda. And I love supporting my other artists. I like to buy off of Etsy, and this is like a tiara I got off of Etsy, and I've got several now. Thank you so very much. And I really like wearing the tiaras because I can't lose these things. They're on my head. I don't have to worry about dropping them down a sink or, washing my hands and having it slip off and have a ring slip off my finger or anything like that. And you got family over in West Virginia, Roger says. Yes, I was in Weirton, West Virginia, near Steubenville, and in my own neighborhood, kind of, because I grew up in East Liverpool, which is very close to Weirton. And of course, you have to cross the bridge, you have to cross the river, and kind of cross back over to get to the Hilton there in Weirton, West Virginia. And Nilda would like a reading, so I'll get started with her. And Crafty. Okay, so let's start with Crafty. Okay, Crafty, runes for you. So the first rune I got is Ewaz. So Ewaz is the rune of travel. But I feel like this is more like a spiritual journey. I actually feel like your guides are taking you and taking your spirit and traveling. Like they're taking you and guiding your spirit to other realms, other places. That's what I feel like this is referring to. You're being guided. The next rune I got is Kenya. So Kenyas is the rune of wisdom, but it's also light in the dark, and it means it's really guidance through the dark, through the unknown. And it feels like this is, the runes are saying that your spirit guides are really guiding you through the unknown. They are actually, that you are trusting them. They decided to take the lead in direction in your life. So they are definitely helping you, guiding you. They are giving you direction. The next rune I got is Dagus. So Dagus is a rune of enlightenment. Okay, and this is the rune that represents the day and the night, basically, or the light and shadow. This is the highest height of the noonday sun. And so when I'm seeing this, I'm seeing enlightenment. So this is really a journey of enlightenment and greater awareness, what they call mindfulness, that really is about enlightenment. You see that at the core of Zen Buddhism and Christianity, that enlightenment, that awareness. And then Crafty says, are you going to St. Clairsville this coming weekend? Yes, I will be in St. Clairsville. I will also be in Lancaster, Ohio, Friday and Saturday, Wands and Wizards. So the entire town in Lancaster, Ohio is going to be a kind of a cosplay event or a mystical wizards, fantasy type of theme. And I will be there at a plant shop doing readings. And you're welcome, Nilda. And in Crafty, yes, I will be. Okay, yeah. And I will be in a lot of places. So, you might want to just check out my Facebook page because I'm going to be very busy. And so when I'm in I'll be in St. Clairsville. I will also be Wands and Wizards in Lancaster, Ohio for Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday in St. Clairsville, and then that's Friday and Saturday and Sunday. I will be in Paulding, Ohio at the old Paulding Jail, which is a haunted jail. Okay, and who else? I think we had readings for. Chris wanted a reading, and Dal wanted a health reading. So Chris, let's get you a reading here. Chris L. So the very first rune I got for you, Chris, is Isa. So Isa, the rune of ice, when I see this usually means patience, pause, delay, but this can also be a call for meditation and rest and contemplation. And what I'm getting is contemplation. It feels like your mind is going just a little too fast and getting a little bit too far ahead of yourself. And that's time to actually take time for yourself, meditate, and do that quiet contemplation that you need. And the next rune I got here is Feiyu. So Feiyu is money. Okay, and it's supposed to represent the horns of a cow here. So we have used cows for financial gain for many centuries. So when I'm seeing Feiyu here, I'm getting the sense that money is this worry. It's kind of in the back of your head. It's not at the forefront of things, but it feels like it's a headache. But what I feel like with the contemplation and with Feiyu, coming to the foreground saying like money's a headache, it feels like a headache right now, and like handling it, I really feel like things are going to turn around for you. So it's just a matter of contemplating, relaxing, clearing your minds and your thoughts so you can have that different and clear and objective perspective that you need. And the last rune I got is Sowilo. Sowilo is the rune of success. It's epiphany. It's the sun. And I feel like you're going to have a really big breakthrough soon in regards to not only financially, but also clarity. It's like a tremendous clarity. It's like I see the sun, like almost like the sun popping out of your head with tremendous clarity and light. So a very positive change. Okay. And so we've done Chris, we've done Nilda, and next Dao. Dao wants a health reading. So I'm going to go ahead and switch rune sets. I'm going to switch to these African runes. Not African runes, but rather African wood. These are runes carved in African wood. So this is a very special and holy wood. So let's see what the wood has to say, or what the runes have to say about your health, Dao. Okay. So the first thing I got is Burkana. So Burkana is, this might be hard to see here, but Burkana is the rune of divine feminine, protection, healing, and I actually feel like healing energy. So it feels like you can ask, and that you need to ask, the Blessed Mother of God, the divine feminine of God, to come through and send that healing energy and surround you with feminine energy, the feminine healing energy. I actually feel like that is flowing and heading towards you, and that you should continue to ask for it. The next rune I got is Isa. So Isa, which looks like a straight line, but it represents ice. What I'm being told is this is a call for you to be patient with your health. When things are going as fast as you want them to do, as far as progressive as healing, it feels like there's a delay, but it's really a call for you to slow down, and so be patient because your healing is coming. Okay, the next rune I got is Feiyu. So Feiyu is money and the cow. So when I see this, I'm feeling prosperity here. So I feel like your health is going to improve just based on what I'm seeing here, because you can have that free flow of divine feminine energy flowing. But also when your health improves, so will your financial situation as well. So you will prosper. You just have to have patience according to the runes. It's just going to take time. And Nilda, is that a new hair color? Yes, I have my hair colored again. Lightened up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to try to keep up with the chat. Okay, and Michelle would like a reading, so I will go ahead and read for Michelle. Yeah, Chris, sometimes it is hard to get into that meditative state, and it does take practice. Sometimes it takes humming. Sometimes it takes binaural beats in the background, so you have some sort of noise going in the background, that kind of like a droning sound or a white noise to try and distract your mind so you can focus. And Michelle, you're welcome down. So what do we have here for Michelle? So the first rune I got is Ansus. So Ansus, and if you can see that, I'll bring this back here. So this rune, this may be hard to see because the wood is kind of dark and then the shape is kind of dark. So this is Ansus. So Ansus, hopefully the camera might see it properly. I'm trying to get in the right direction. But Ansus kind of looks like an F, but with the top arms pointed down. So Ansus is about speaking wisdom. And what I'm getting, that there is a lot of wisdom that you've acquired, but this is wisdom through difficult times. It's like you've been through the hard times and you've acquired a lot of inner wisdom, and you don't think of yourself as wise or as evolved or as advanced, but you definitely are. So you do have a lot of wisdom that you can share with others and to guide them. The next rune I have for you, well, this rune appears to be blank. So when I bring up the blank rune, that means that they're emphasizing the first message. So it's important to pay attention, that you value and understand that you are a wise person. You have wisdom. You've come a long way. And the next rune, I got land goose for you. So land goose is water, it's flow, it's also a leak. And what I have is growth. So I keep being told in your life, you can expect more growth, more prosperity, and I feel more of a blessing, of abundance coming to you, right? This tremendous positive flow. And the next rune, so I want to go ahead and get you the next rune. So this one for you, this is Tiwa. So it kind of looks like an arrow pointing up. And this can represent oath. It can represent promise. It can represent victory. It's usually very masculine. And it's also pointing towards the North Star. And it's supposed to actually represent Odin's spear. So when I see this, when I'm being told that you firmly plant yourself in victory, there is a point that's coming that you grow in prosperity and abundance to the point where you're like, yes, I am victorious here at this point in my life. So victory is coming. Okay, and Joey. Hi, Joey. All right, Joey, let's see. Joey Youngkin. That's right, never stop learning. Me too. So I've been learning a couple of languages. I've been learning German and French. I've had to use it already. Okay, Joey, the first rune I got for you, Joey, this is Iwas. So Iwas is travel. And it's supposed to be two horses facing each other. It's like that rapid forward movement, sort of like the chariot in the tarot. What I'm getting from this is like you keep moving forward. It's like I feel like there's a fast pace for you. Fast. And it feels like this is normal for you. Like this is the pace that you need, that you thrive in. It's kind of at that faster pace. And the next rune I got is Sowilo. Sowilo being like a lightning strike, a ray of sunshine. It could be epiphany, success. And I'm getting success. I'm getting the impression like of complete satisfaction. Like I see the sun, and like I see you in the sun, and like everything is surrounded in light. So I get the sense of complete satisfaction, and also joy. And I feel like your spiritual life and your physical life are being so well connected and so well balanced that you experience prosperity and joy in both realms. And then the next room, this is I was. So I was is communication and death and regeneration. And I'm feeling the communication part. I'm getting the impression like to keep the communication, spirit communications to your guides and your angels, and to keep that open, because this is kind of crucial to your journey and to your support that you're getting. So you could certainly ask for your angels' protection, ask them to keep that communication open and to keep talking to you, speaking with you, showing you, and welcome them to communicate in any way they feel they need, that they have to get your attention and to help guide you, especially for your angels, like your guardian angel. Yeah, and you like staying busy. See, I was picking that up with you. Okay, and we're still, I think we're caught up on the, can runes be used to let someone know how their past loved one is doing? So you mean the person, a loved one that has passed, to see how they're doing? Yes, absolutely, because the runes, they're not just letters, right? They're letters of an alphabet we no longer use, but each one is an image and an energy, and they're all on the tree of life, which in the Viking world it's the cosmic tree, and you had the 9 realms, and it's just like the structure of the tree of the universe. This cosmic tree is very much identical to the rune you see in Kabbalah, and so in the Kabbalah, each levels of the realms represent different levels of consciousness. So absolutely, so there's a lot to the runes than just symbols, letters, and words. Okay, and can yes. Okay, like your mom. So you want me to see how your mom's doing? To see if there's any messages from her, Nilda? And we can try. Let's see what she has to say. So Nilda Gonzalez was asking the runes to reach out to her mother, to Nilda's mother. Okay, so the first rune I got is Sowilo, and I'm being sent of images of pure light, and joy. I'm feeling light and joy. I'm feeling peace. And she's like sending that to you. She keeps sending that to you. She says that you're going through hard times, but she keeps sending you that light, and you're focusing on the dark times rather than focusing on the light. So she's sending you light. So embrace that. The next rune I got is Ewas. So Ewas is usually a journey, and it's supposed to be 2 horses facing each other. But the first thing when I touched this rune was like the impression I got from her that she's still with you, that she sees your journey and she is with you in that journey. Okay, but she's coming from a place of light, from heaven, and she's sending you love. She's sending you light. She's sending you the healing energy from heaven to encourage you. And the next rune I got is Ansus. So Ansus is wisdom. Okay, so thinking on this rune, the first thing I felt like this serenity. I feel like she's very serene at this point in her afterlife. And wisdom, when I pick up that rune Ansus, it's like she's speaking wisdom, but she says that things are a little bit chaotic in your life right now, and she's speaking wisdom, and it's going to take a time for you to pause and to listen, to really listen and feel what she's saying to you and what she's sending to you. It will be time. It will take some time, but she is right there with you, and she is working with you, and she's sending you, and she's supporting you from the other side. Oh, you're out in the sun a lot. Yeah. I was out in the sun in June, and boy, even though I was in a tent, it was so hot, I still got some sun on me while I was in a tent. That's how hot it was. Okay, Mystical G. Mystical G. And you're welcome, Nilda. So, Mystical G. Do our loved ones go to the planet they originally are from? And that's up to them. That's completely up to that individual. Some of them will be reincarnated back to where they were from and just kind of go back there. Others will choose not to reincarnate and hang around as a guide for a while. Others like to continue learning and growing on the other side. So they like to go through classes. They like to get educated. They like to explore the other side, the spirit world, because you can manifest anything there instantly. Okay, and Mystical G wants a reading. So I will go ahead and read for Mystical G next. So this rune I got is Land Goose. So Land Goose's flow and its growth. And I'm being told by this rune that you've actually had a major spiritual and personal growth just in the past year, that you made a lot of progress. And the next rune, Isa. Isa was just the rune of delay. It's also contemplation. It's quiet. It's patience. What I'm getting for you is I'm feeling a sense of a call for patience. It feels like you're trying to push things to come to fruition a little too hard and a little too much before they're meant to be, so that you actually need to have the patience and wait for everything to evolve naturally. And the next rune I got is Urus. So Urus is the rune of strength and resilience. And you're being called upon to rely on your resilience because you need patience. What you desire is going to happen, but it's going to take some patience on your part, because it's not going to be instant. You have to learn patience in this. Okay, and Crafty, is there any messages for me from a loved one? Okay, so let's ask Crafty. So let's just ask this first question. Is there any messages for me from a loved one? So the first rune I got is Yara. So Yara being yes, I feel like a yes answer. Next rune, Zangoose, again, flow, water. And I'm being told life. I'm just told the word life, nothing else right now. When I touch it, I feel life. Life. Next rune, Kenya's wisdom. And this is, what this is a torch that you would make in an emergency. So the bottom part would be where you would hold your hand, and the top part would be covered in pine tar and lit on fire. So you have a little handmade torch to light the way if you're lost or you're in the dark and you really are on a long journey. So the impression I'm getting is exactly that, is to trust in wisdom, trust in wisdom, trust in the guidance, because according to this person, because I feel like there's not just one loved one, I feel like there's at least 3 or 4 that are saying that you feel like you don't know what you're doing. There's that sense that you're kind of seeing things in the dark, but they're encouraging you to keep going, because they say that you're going in the right direction. Even though it doesn't feel like it and doesn't seem like it, you definitely are. Okay. And then Chris, what do you think of double timeline jump in the Schumann resonance last night? That's very interesting. So the Schumann resonance, it means the frequency of Earth, and it also affects our brain waves in our heart, and it does affect those of us with abilities. And what I think that we're trying to do, I think and this is just my opinion, I just think our whole existence here, this reality, is shifting to a different one. We're like shifting to another realm. And I think the pulses of the Schumann resonance just may be the transition, the energy from that transition. It's like we're being pushed to this other realm, this higher realm. So the people of light that want to embrace light and love and that higher self, right, they're going to be in that higher realm. And those who reject that are going to be finding themselves in a much lower vibration, but will be separated out. And you're welcome, Mystical G. And you're welcome, Crafty. Yeah, I've been paying attention to Schumann resonance. Absolutely. It's very significant. And I've also been paying attention. Have you been following the patterns in the sun? We've been getting some solar storms, a crazy geomagnetic activity, and that is actually affecting our magnetosphere of the Earth, which changes, it ends up making Earth more vulnerable to some degree. And, it's upending our electronics and communications and all sorts of happenings with the sun, and it's also causing earthquakes. We had an earthquake, a major earthquake in the Drake Passage, and you usually don't see earthquakes there because there's not a fault line in the Drake Passage. But it was a substantial earthquake. And just thank goodness it happened in the Drake Passage where there's not a whole lot of people that would live, but a lot of ships do travel it. So is anybody, I'm very curious, so with the Schumann resonance last night, and we've seen huge spikes in the Schumann resonance, has any of you that join us here, have you been having unusual dreams or visions, anything of that nature? I'm just curious if anybody here has. The sun seems larger and brighter. Is the new or second sun. Yeah. Chris, if you feel comfortable sharing about the vision that your friend had last night, certainly you can share that. And Nilda has. Okay. Yeah, I think, I have too. Now, I don't know if this is going to resonate with you, with what you're experiencing. But very recently, I was shown, I was in a dream. It was very vivid. Bright, sunny day. I'm just taking a drive along the highway, and I see all these beautiful lights in the sky, and they're bright white lights, okay? And they're gathering together. First, there's just a few of them, and then all of a sudden there's hundreds, and then there's thousands. And then people panic. They think it's an alien invasion, so they panic. People are running home. People are running here and there and everywhere. And I just continue on my routine. So I know I'm going to be going to do a kind of a psychic fair. So I was going to stay in a hotel. So I go to the hotel. I'll go ahead and go. And there's people jumping out the first floor windows because they're so afraid of these beings. Well, these beings that came out of the light, and these were beings of light that came down. They were tall, slender beings, and they had physical bodies, but they were so much radiated with the spiritual side that they actually glowed with this beautiful white light. And they had a very loving and gentle and even joyous presence. It was wonderful to just be around them because they were so in tune with the light. And they were sending telepathic messages. So they were able to send their telepathic messages to everyone around the world. And they were saying to us that humanity, as a group, as a species, that we are destroying ourselves and we are destroying the planet, and we're not learning our lessons as a race. And so they were here. They had to take over. They were taking over so that we would adopt their enlightened ways. They would teach us their enlightened ways. And people were horrified and running away. And I was completely thought this was a blessing because it's exactly what we were needing. We need peace. We need to learn the ways. We need to learn the ways of higher consciousness. And Nilda says, you had an out-of-body experience seeing people that hurt and feel. Okay. Right, seeing souls out there. There are a lot of wandering souls and spirits that suffer, and we have to be the light for them, and we have to guide them to the ultimate light, and we pray for them and ask for their angels to come get them and help them and minister to them. Oh, okay, so he had wild dreams, and we need to send love to all. That's absolutely right. We need to raise everyone's energy, their love, and their towards that light. Right? We need to pour out that light and that love over the whole earth. Absolutely. So I'm not sure if there's actual aliens heading this way, but I certainly talked to more than one person that have been having dreams recently about beings from other worlds coming into our Earth. So I didn't know if any of the people that are in this chat were having similar experiences, similar dream experiences, or dream messages to that effect. So let's kind of, one thing we could do here is, as a collective, we are in the bright light within this group. Absolutely, completely. And one thing I could do here, I'm very interested. So, what the runes have to say about this, like the Schumann resonance, or like I'm just going to ask, are we moving towards? Are we moving towards a different dimension? Are we experiencing a dimensional shift? Are we moving from one universe to another, and we're just shifting timelines or shifting to another realm? So let's just ask the runes about that. So the first rune I got is Yara. So when I see that, it's definitely a yes. I really like the stone. It's kind of, you can see the light through it. But yes, it's like we're shifting, and it's just like a pattern. When I see Yara, it usually talks about repeating patterns. So it's like something that we're shifting. They keep like shifting and shifting and shifting. Like we're going to keep shifting higher and higher. And the next rune I got is Ansus. So Ansus being wisdom. So this is all done in wisdom. So and I'm being told that there are these beings. So this isn't something that's happening in nature. There are divine beings that are causing this to happen. They are setting this in motion. They are interacting with our realm and kind of moving us to where we need to be. And the next rune, this is interesting. This is mana. So this represents humanity. So they are seeking out, they are serving our interest. So they're concerned with our destiny, especially spiritually. They want us to be at that higher level of consciousness and awareness. And it's interesting, it popped up in this bag because these runes don't belong to these other sets. These are different sets. It's from a different set. So somehow it ended up in there. So I take that as a confirmation for sure. And I've also, people are talking a lot about the objects that are entering our solar system, and there's a number of them entering our solar system that are exhibiting some unusual characteristics that people have not seen or noticed before. A certain people being chosen to go through the timeline, and why? Yes, and it has to do with what you're drawn to. So if you are a person that is drawn to the light, you want that light, you're seeking that higher consciousness, you want to be part of the light and serve the light and serve the highest purpose, you would be one of the ones that would want to go and will be shifted over to that higher realm, that higher frequency. So I've been shown, and I was shown, and I was surprised and shocked to hear that Padre Pio, Father Padre Pio, who is Saint Padre Pio, had a very similar vision. And I've been having this for years, this message. And he talked about 3 days of darkness. Well, I was also shown 3 days of darkness. And what I was shown is that initially we'd have 3 days of darkness and where time is suspended. And then when that darkness lives, right, we're in a different realm. We have already shifted to this other realm. Those 3 days of darkness is remaking the earth. So this is taking it from a molecular level and viewing a molecular I'm trying to talk correctly, molecular changes on the quantum level. So this is changes that's happening on the quantum level that it spreads throughout. And that's why there's that 3 days of darkness. It's that transition period. And time is fully suspended, so you're not be eating or drinking or just consciousness in this suspended state. And then once that transformation is complete, we're in another world, and that other world is so much more beautiful and more balanced, natural, and it's very much a very heavenly place as I would describe it, because everything is so clean and so pure, and people are free and healthy, and it's a beautiful experience. And down it says, I heard a spaceship circling each planet, observing each one on a vibrational level and trying to find out which planet needs help revolving. That's interesting. And I did hear, actually, somebody had put out the idea as that Three-Eye Atlas may be on the way to Mars to terraform it. And so I thought that was interesting. I thought that was very intriguing. And Nelda says, okay, so we've already went to address Nelda. We heard that big blue aliens would probably be one of the first alien introductions, like they will be sitting in people's living rooms with mediums and help explain how they want to help us. I've heard different things, and I heard that some of the aliens are they're in a different dimension, so they're in a different layer of space. So it's like us mediums could talk to them and hear them because we can pick up images and messages from that other layer of space. So if they are in another layer of space and they're just a different life form that inhabit because they're in a different frequency than us, then that could be a possibility. That could happen potentially. Yeah, and okay, they spoke about this last night. Yeah, that's interesting that it's coming up. This transformation, I forever had dreams of a beautiful bright light touching the earth, and that this would be the initiation of separating the wheat from the chaff, as the Bible says. Separating that out, and then we naturally separate. I think it's very fascinating, but then we also we can evolve ourselves. We can evolve ourselves when we reach out to our guides and we sort of shift our perspective, which I like the transcendental meditation where I have no thoughts and just observe, right? And just observing this observer, like try to observe your consciousness, try to observe your consciousness looking outward to the world in your mind, and that mindfulness, and bringing that heightened awareness, I think that is transformative in and of itself. Because when you have more awareness, then you're actually more engaged in what's going on around you. Spirit world, the physical world, like every aspect, it just gets so much easier to figure out what's really going on and how you should react to certain things, because now you have this clarity, this mindfulness, this awareness of what's really going on. So give them a call if you get a chance. A very interesting human energy. So interesting. Now let's see I'm just going to ask them, like, what kind of energies are people going to be encountering soon? Because we're kind of in a very tumultuous time, and when you have these tumultuous times, you do have tremendous energies that sometimes just come through. Like that's when you had the visions of Fatima, right, and the Blessed Mother coming and appearing to the Holy Children and sending them message. And this was at World War I, so it was a very tumultuous time. And then there was the miracle of the sun that followed, and there was tremendous spiritual interaction in World War I. So let's just ask about the kind of energy. So the first energy I have here, I'm being shown, this is Othala. So this is the divine feminine, but this is also like oneness with the universe, and this is also an inheritance, DNA, family. And what I'm getting a sense is like the divine feminine, that there's a consciousness of our interconnectedness, and that when we embrace our interconnectedness, independent from our politicians and everything else, all the other forces that strive to control us, then nobody can control us. It just makes me feel like there's a peace that comes from that global realization of how just interconnected that our minds and our souls or spirit truly are. In the next room, EWAS. So EWAS is motion travel, and what I'm getting from this is like I'm getting the picture of the sense of a rapid evolution of humanity in a positive direction, where we're evolving ourselves and our consciousness as opposed to and social changes as opposed to technological, because I can feel that separation, because a few years ago I had the Blessed Mother come to me and have me paint this painting that was a warning against AI, and I was showing dreams where people were kept in these AI hubs, and that they weren't only building this infrastructure that they're building now, these AI data centers. Like they would have people, the AI would actually have slaves acting like drones in a collective hive. Sort of the closest thing you could think of is like the Borg from Star Trek. It's but very oppressive. Well, everybody else outside of that chose to reject that, and chose to live in the countryside, and chose to live in small communities that supported and were loving and were very caring and conscientious about how they treated the environment and the animals, and how much harmony, and they're intact and with each other, and there was tremendous trust, and there was tremendous spiritual and emotional connection, where people were living in the AI centers were not even allowed to feel emotions or have thoughts, or the AI would cause pain in their head by using a chip in their head, and we're just simply working them to death. So there's like this divergence that goes on. And the next rune I got, this is Kenya. So Kenya's is wisdom. So I'm showing, as far as this, what I'm being told is like humanity's going to embrace wisdom. It's going to be a while, but we're kind of on the cusp of that, and we're deciding right now. That's separated out right now. Okay, that separation is occurring. But like the ones that want to reach that higher level of consciousness and are concerned about humanity having a human-centered existence, where we're connected to each other and the souls and the earth and kindness, and be part of that light. And there are others that are rejecting that, and who just want the quick fix, and they end up being prisoners of AI. And so, do you know we have okay. As far as that, I have seen that being launched. It's already been launched in other countries, as far as like a digital IT. Korea, I saw in the news, Korea launched their digital ID, and 8 million people instantly lost all their money in their accounts, because they refused to accept that digital ID system. And this has been a while back, and we don't know a whole lot about Cuba, but Cuba, according, this is what had come out. I don't know how true it is, because it's still not 100% verified, is that when Cuba switched to a digital system, to a digital monetary system, people were finding their bank accounts were completely empty and they had nothing. So this digital system is a control system, and I was shown a long time ago that I was actually taking a journey, and I was taking a journey down through the dark levels, actually through hell, and we're shown that there were actual contracts that hell had made with companies and corporations and governments to put this in place, and it was using money as a center of control, and to bring people's souls down rather than lift them up, and it's supposed to keep oppressed and suffering. But if you reject that and you choose your soul over that control system, you have the right to reject it. You can reject it. You may lose that monetary control over your own money, but you have your soul, and you have the greatest value that you can have. Right? That money was never real to start with, because they control it. It's in their hands. So there's a lot involved in that. Okay. Okay, so let's see what else. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Okay, and yes, Maria. And wondering, will Flip me and reconcile? Will Philip and me reconcile? Okay, Philip. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said Flip. I apologize for that. Let's ask Maria. Oh, I'm sorry you broke up. Let's see. Let's ask you and Philip. Maria and Philip. The first rune I got here is death and resurrection. So this is Iwas. This is communication. I feel like the separation was kind of necessary, but there's times away where you kind of regenerate and regroup. The next rune I got is Feyus, which is money. So I feel like it makes me feel like you are separated for a while. But then you got Helgelas here, which is sort of destruction, but it's also healing from past hurts. But I do feel like that you get together at some point. It's not exactly like a reconciliation, but it's more like like a heart to heart, like dealing with each other's pain and helping with each other and healing each other. That's what I feel like happening. So it feels like you're time apart, and then you come back together and you kind of help and support each other after that breakup. Then Chris, one last question. Any messages from my neighbor Lori? She could use some uplifting news. Okay. Okay, Chris, so let's see about your neighbor Lori. Okay, so Lori, the message I got for Lori, Degas. So Degas is the rune of light and enlightenment, and when I touched this rune, what I got for her is to tell her that this darkness is temporary, that great light is coming. A great light is coming, so a breakthrough is coming. This is temporary. It's going to be short-lived. The next rune I got is Sowilo. Again, it's another sun symbol. So this is the sun. This is also lightning, solar rays. And what I'm seeing for her is that I feel like she's in a struggle. It feels like a struggle with maybe depression. But I feel like this is going to be lifting, that there's a reason going to be lifting for it. I'm being told that she's going to have cause to celebrate. So the next rune, hey, I got Sowilo again. Look at that. Sowilo again. Another, got it again and again and again. So Sowilo being the rune of the sun and an epiphany. And it feels like to me that since the spirit was telling her that this is temporary, that this darkness is temporary, that she can actually reach out in prayer and in spirit and ask for her guys to come and help and uplift her and show her greater things and show her the beauty of things. And that's what I do when I get down. I'm like, show me the beauty, remind me the beauty of heaven, remind me the beauty of the love and the beings that surround me and take care of me and who guide me and who created this universe. Right, so that is one thing that she could do also for herself is, reach out on the other side to help her. And then Maria, let's take a look here. Did he move away? He moved away. So, okay. So, yeah, I feel movement for him, Maria, and I got Feyu, which is money, so it feels like he's making money elsewhere and moved elsewhere. And I actually feel motion. And I see Burkana. So being another female that he looks like he's looking to try and have a relationship with. And final rune is also female, Ophala. It's his family DNA right now. So I feel like he's looking for stability. It's like he's looking for somebody to be his family. Okay, and then Sky. Okay, are Sasquatch connected to Three-Eye Atlas? I got Isa, so that would be a no. Okay, and when will he try to come back? It feels like a while here. I can't really narrow that down, but it feels like it's at least a year in advance, so at least a year in the future, because they feel like summer months. Okay, and we know, yeah. Well, all I can tell you, Maria, is that it was summer. I was seeing summer. So it doesn't feel like soon, but it could be next year, like next summer, because I just know it happens in the summer months. And yep, reading's still open. And what a lovely day, 90. You would love to have a message. Okay, and Andrew would like to have a rune reading too. So let's go ahead and read for Andrew. Okay. This rune just popped out of there for you, Andrew. So this is Sowilo. Again, this is the sun. This is Epiphany. And it feels like when I'm being told, like you're on the right path towards enlightenment. It's like you're on the right spiritual path to really transform yourself and your mind. And Andrew, let's see what else we got here. Okay. Next rune I got for you, Feiyu. Feiyu is money. So I'm told in here, when you make your spiritual priorities correct, that the prosperity, the financial side of things will follow. It will just naturally follow. The next rune is Iwas, which is travel, journey. I feel like your spirit guide is going to make yourself known to you in a very profound way, and this is a female. I'm feeling a female energy. I feel like you're going to have a very profound experience with a female spirit guide. So your reading is, Andrew, just to sum it up, like you're on the right path towards enlightenment, and that by getting your spiritual priorities in order, getting your spiritual house in order, is that the prosperity, the material prosperity follows, and then your spirit guide will step in, this female spirit guide. You'll be made very aware of her. And let's see, and what a lovely day. Can't wait to read for you. What a lovely day. What a beautiful sign-on name. So I'm going to use these runes, these wooden runes here. So what a lovely day. What a lovely day. Maria, I can't say that you're forever over, but it looks like at some point you do meet and kind of hash things out with each other. So what a beautiful day. What a lovely day. The first rune I got for you is I was. So I was, and I'm being told transformation the moment I touch this. So this is communication, regeneration. It's death and regeneration, but I feel like it's the rejuvenation, it's the regeneration part. It's becoming a new person. And the next rune I got is Manas. So Manas is humanity, it's intellect, it's the rainbow bridge. And what I got for you, what a lovely day, is that the focus is on the mind, but it feels like you are it feels like your mind is your job is very mentally demanding. It feels to me that it's like you have to remember so much information, and you have to come up with the solution super fast. And I feel like, and a lot of times when I get this too, sometimes that usually indicates to somebody that's like in the medical field or in some sort of human-oriented type of career that's concerned with humanities and other people's health and well-being. And what a beautiful day. I also got land goose. So land goose is growth, personal growth. One I'm getting is like there's a really heavy intellectual demand to give yourself a break, to really learn to slow down and give yourself a break and clear your mind and give yourself time to rest, give your brain a break. But I also see regeneration, like a transformation through this, where you experience this tremendous self-growth and progress. If you feel more of an even keel, you feel like you're in a better mood, things happen so well. It's like you feel so much better once you take time to take care of yourself, especially your mind, because it feels like you're in a demanding position where you kind of overtax your mind quite a bit. And then Ashika, do you see me getting into college in 2026 batch? Interesting. Let's see. Let's ask about, is Ashika going into college in the 2026 batch. So it's a good yes or no question. So let's see what the runes have to say. So this is yes, success. That's what the runes are saying yes. Like without a doubt. Okay, so anybody have any other questions for me or anything that anybody want to discuss? Or before we wrap up, as we just have a couple minutes. I did see another female that he's trying to get the attention of. But I feel like it's more of an emotional connection, not so much like a romantic one. Okay, and she says that God is evolving us and giving back our senses to take back our earth from the demons. What do you think on this? Well, that definitely seems to be the case, because, you know, Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within each of us, right? So he's empowering us, right? He is letting us know that we are part of his light. We have to recognize the divinity within each of us, right? We're a part of God. We're a part of that light. He created us as divine beings, not people to be trapped in this world. And when we realize that and we embrace it, we transcend to the light in the spiritual and the mental phase, then the dark entities, right, that are their goal is to try to sabotage that and to bring us lower and to keep us in a state of suffering. We can be in a state of faith, which protects us from suffering. We can be in a state of bliss and inner peace and have a greater fortitude in the realization of the divinity within each of us, that no dark entity can ever take that from us. And I do want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, and that's all we have tonight. And I thank you for joining me, and I thank you for supporting me. Don't forget, you can go to my Facebook page. Just search me on Google. Just type in Angela Bowley Psychic Portrait Artist, and the first two results, my Facebook page and my website. And I keep tabs on me, on my events and where I'm going to be. And of course, if you like to have a reading, if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can just leave me a message on Facebook, send me a message on my website, either way, and I will gladly get back to you. Okay. And that's all the time I have, and thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening, and I hope to see you soon.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not Chipmunk? Action. No, I'm out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just gonna sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.
Fall!